I'm what you would call a capital G gamer. That means I have no life and no wife, but fortunately, I have slice and dice, which is nice. On the opposite end is my dad, who isn't a capital G gamer. He's not even a lowercase g gamer, unless that game is Spider Solitaire, which came pre-installed on Windows XP. Now for him, back in the day, that shit was peak gaming, and he would come back to it day after day and play it for hours, and the only reason I bring all this up is because this game right here has basically become my Spider Solitaire. Slice and Dice can be described as a bite-sized RPG roguelite. You possess a party of 5 heroes who go through a series of levels battling monsters in turn-based combat. With dice. Every monster and hero has a unique die. Each side has an action associated with it, and with whatever you end up rolling, it's up to you to strategically choose the ones that will help your heroes not die. The monsters actually roll first, and this is good because whatever they get is what they're going to do, and you can see who it's going to affect. And typically it will be something that takes a good chunk of health from one or more of your party members, and you can see how much HP they'll lose, and they'll flash red if the incoming damage will kill them should you end the turn with no intervention.
I'm dying! Somebody drop a medic bag!
Now some moves are more unique. They might not do any direct damage, but they could put debilitating curses on you, or summon more enemies into battle that you'll have to deal with if you ultimately want to win. The point is, you gotta fight back. Or should I say, dice back. I'm going to keep rolling with these dice puns, and you will like them. If you don't like your initial rolls, you do have the opportunity to reroll a few times. If you like some of the rolls, you can select them to lock it to the respective hero and just reroll the others. However, once you use your last reroll, you just gotta make do. After the rolling phase, you can select the dice to use and for most of them, who to use it on. There are a variety of moves, but the basic ones involve healing, damaging, shielding, or gaining mana. Oh yeah, you can cast spells with mana, and you can use them at any time during your combat phase, assuming you have enough mana to cast it, and the hero that knows the spell isn't dead. Unless otherwise noted, you can only use one side once before it's spent, and you'll have to wait until the next turn to roll for more. However, you can undo most moves you make within a turn with no consequences. So, if you accidentally shield the wrong party member, undo. Cast a spell on an enemy that's actually immune to spells? You can undo it. Or perhaps you use an attack that you realize would have been better applied on another monster. Just hit undo. You fucking buffoon. See, unlike real life, you almost always have the ability to undo the consequences of your actions, which means experimentation is very much encouraged. But if you're down to your last hero, and you manage to do a move that gets them killed, you can't undo that, and it's game over. Just like real life. Once you finish applying your rolls, the monsters finally do their moves, and the whole thing starts over again until one side prevails. Hopefully, that side is you, and if it is, you move on to the next level. Your party consists of 5 color-coded classes. Orange typically starts out as a thief of sorts. Yellow is a fighter, gray is a defender, red is a healer, and blue is a mage. Now, these are just some of the starting variants for each hero. For instance, your thief might actually start out as a scoundrel, which has a different die in HP stats. You'll see here that with a thief, you have a 50-50 chance of rolling a non-blank side, including a really handy bow that can strike enemies at a range. Now, with a scoundrel, statistically speaking, you'll most often roll blank sides, because that's what a majority of their dice is, and it's a little frustrating in my experience because it really feels like someone isn't pulling their weight. I'm just trying to do some damage on these monsters, and you totally can with the scoundrel, just only 33% of the time, which is kind of fucking dog shit. I wouldn't describe Slice and Dice as an easy game, but it being a roguelite might have already tipped you on that. You could be kicking ass one level, only for things to start getting really dicey in the next, and it could be because of poor strategy on your part, or it could be the rolls just screwing you over so hard that you roll all blanks, and can't do jack shit about the poison that's slowly killing you. Anyway, as you progress through your run, the monsters will get increasingly more deadly. You'll encounter enemies and bosses with moves so disgustingly powerful that will end your pitiful party in a single turn if you don't play your cards right, or rather, your dice right. So, the monsters get stronger, but so can you by leveling up your heroes. When you level up a hero, you have the option of transforming them into an upgraded variant of their archetype, and there are a lot of possibilities for each hero. Typically, this means a health increase and a change of their die, which will give you access to new moves and strategies. For example, your Gray hero can start out as a level 1 alloy, whose die is composed of pretty much all shielding sides. But at level 2, you might get the option to upgrade into a statue, with a die that consists of all blanks. But they also have 20 HP, which is kinda wild. Alternately, when reaching the next level, you'll be presented an option to gain items to be added to your inventory, which can be equipped to your heroes before battles. Items typically augment your characters or dice in new and exciting ways. Some items can upgrade certain sides so that they're more powerful, or they can just outright replace it with another action completely. Others give characters access to new spells. Another could increase their max health based on the amount of vowels that their class's title contains. There are even some that replace exclusively blank sides with something else that could be useful, so yeah, even blank sides have their uses, I guess. Fuck you, scoundrel. A lot of items add keywords to sides, and keywords are special properties that are found or can be added to certain sides on dice. For instance, this pitchfork here for my ruffian has the cleave property, which means instead of only dealing damage to a single target as usual, it will also affect others adjacent to that target. One of my favorite keywords is cantrip, which activates the move's effect as soon as it lands face up during the rolling phase, rather than having to be locked in and used afterwards. Now with this keyword, it's theoretically possible to attain a combination of dice among your heroes where, say, one hero's rolls damages a monster every time it lands, while another grants you extra rerolls when it lands, allowing you to chip away at the health of all your enemies and wipe them out before the first turn is even over. You see, that happened to me once, and it was one of the few runs that I've ever won. I've been chasing that high ever since. But that's Slice and Dice in a nutshell, which is only a shell that I've only really begun to scratch because this game has insane replayability. I haven't even mentioned the multitude of modes and items I've yet to unlock, as well as the heroes and monsters I've yet to discover. Honestly, I've barely touched the hard difficulty, because being a capital G gamer means my life is hard enough. I'm constantly taking L's, but I'm compelled to start another run because those dice aren't gonna roll themselves, damn it! And that is why I think Slice and Dice should come pre-installed on all Windows XP systems.